welcome back to the channel. So Gamescom happened earlier today. I had work, so I couldn't live react to it. I wanted to do a live stream, but you know how life is. So the stream is up on YouTube on the Xbox channel. It's in 4K. As you can see, I don't know if I'm uploading this in 4K. I'm like, if I edit it down, and no, I'm probably not. I'm probably gonna upload it in 1080p, but I'm about to watch it in 4K. And let's see what we get. I haven't heard any news from it, so I just came right in, got right on, start recording, got my G Fuel, and let's watch some Gamescom. US and Canada. Damn, they got the 18+ rating on everything. Are they gonna show the fucking, what is it called? The scorn? They better show fucking scorn. Even though I'm scared to play this shit, I want to see it in 4K. This Sensu Stash is fucking good, bro. Shout out to PewDiePie on this flavor. That shit straight hit.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our Gamescom 2021 Xbox stream.
We've got so many great game updates to share with you today. We're talking Age of Empires 4, Psychonauts 2, and my personal favorite,
coming out
Microsoft
tonight.
Flight Simulator.
Later on, we'll take an extended look at Forza Horizon 5. There's so much going into this, and Playground Games' vision of Mexico is muy bonito.
And we'll be getting our first look at the cover car for the game, Paris. I got $5 on it being one of those electric scooters that you see piled up on the sidewalk.
Will Kate win $5? I guess we're about to find out.
Yes, indeed. Our Xbox Plays team will also chat with devs and deep dive into current and upcoming games all week on twitch.tv/Xbox.
Oh yeah, they be playing
Let's
games.
get started with Techland and their upcoming zombie parkour sequel, Dying Light 2: Stay Human.
Dying Light. Ah, come on now, bro. I don't want to hear Dying Light. I hate Dying Light 1. I know a lot of people love Dying Light.
I am Timon Smektawa, Dying Light 2 lead game designer, and this is David Lubryka, animation director. Hi. We can't wait until December 7th to finally give you Dying Light 2 Stay Human, the game we have been working on really hard for the last few years.
We're hoping the gameplay video you're about to watch will give you a foretaste of parkour and combat systems waiting for you in the game.
He said the game you see in the video, like, oh, this is not the one we worked on. What the fuck was that
language? Fighting our
language?
way through its brutal and dangerous streets. Though, as you will see in a moment, there are plenty of things you can use to your advantage. So watch closely, look for special combat and parkour moves, and check out how with just a bit of creativity you can combine the two. Ready? Let's go.
Sometimes I wonder what this city looked like before all this. Probably like many others. People had their ambitions, plans, lives. Now it's all gone. The virus started it.
I mean, I don't think Dying Light ever looked bad, like graphically.
This city,
I just hated the control scheme.
They tell me
and I couldn't play the game because of it. I never adapted. I had a live stream of Dying Light, I haven't seen it.
Broke into many
I don't even think it's
ones.
up still on Twitch as a VOD. I never put it on YouTube because I wasn't proud of myself. Oh my, what the fuck is this?
Instead of fighting together, people stood against each other.
That was a lynching.
War broke out.
Was it a little bird? Met a broken leg?
Hope
Is that the dude from
died.
Dying Light 1? Or the DLC of Dying Light 1?
Now the city is falling.
Each time we strike down an enemy, we absorb their strength.
But I can't let that happen.
Alright, if you wanna... Alright.
I need
See, Dying Light has always been wild as hell. Like hella wild. I like how it looks. It's just not a game that I can play.
I have to pick a side.
The Bazaar needs good people. You're doing great so far.
First person parkour is definitely not my forte either. I don't know who the hell thought that was a good idea. He just crunched your shit. Don't cut, I want to see this. And they cut. Come on
They
now.
say that great change is a series
Is that
of
a
small
person?
gestures.
I really don't like this.
How about this?
I don't like it
series?
in first person. That's what it is. I don't like it in first person. It just looks weird. But it's just me. There's a lot of people waiting this game. Okay, that block was out. I don't understand these fly kicks.
Is all
he
hope
took his
really
head
gone?
off. No
We'll
effort.
see about that.
Well, that was an exciting trip, wasn't it, Timon? Did you notice those bandits in medieval-like armor passing by skyscrapers, banks, and large billboards? That's what we call a modern Dark Ages.
And it's a very unique design, one very important for the plot of Dying Light 2. But there's another thing that stood out to me, all those parkour moves that you and your team has put so much effort into.
Well, all you need is a few thousand of animations, cooperation with professional tracers, mock-up sessions, and invaluable help from David Bell, whose face and moves player will see in the game, by the way.
No, yes, right. And we've got twice the number of parkour moves compared to the first game, and we are showing some of them in this trailer. The vault kicks being the most important to me personally. It brings a whole new fighting style into the game. The player can stagger an enemy and use them to perform further attacks, for example by rebounding from their bodies, jumping off them onto other foes, and so on.
I think we captured
Jumping
the
off
movement
people?
really
What is it,
well
WWE?
and made it quite simple for the players to perform. I can't wait for them to try it out and tell for themselves how much they loved it.
It's definitely going to be useful. The city's buildings are higher than anything we have done before,
That shit's
improving
crazy,
its
bro.
verticality.
They put a
Players
lot-
will
they
need
put
to
a lot of
find a
effort
way
in
to
Dying
reach
Light,
those tall
and I can't even
skyscrapers
appreciate
and
it.
other challenging spots too.
Then it's good
Don't
we
roast me in the
scattered some
comments.
helpers around, like a paraglider,
But
which
that
can
game is
support
probably
players
gonna
in
be
both
trash.
parkouring and combat.
Exactly, and it's gonna do great, especially in fights against humans, which are more frequent and important than in Dying Light 1. It's been over 20 years since the events from the first game, so people adjusted. They are much bolder now, at least during the day.
And they are more vicious too.
And I think that's a great summary of this discussion.
Oh, y'all ain't showed the
Pre-order
volatiles.
Dying Light 2 and
What the fuck do they
explore
look
its
like?
vast, complex world on December 7th. Thanks, David.
Thank you.
I want to see the volatiles. Of course, y'all got skins. There's no game with no
For
skins.
the first time in the storied history of the franchise,
This dude
Microsoft
eyes
Flight
fucking
Simulator
creep me out,
launched
bro.
on a home console
Them
with
bitches
the
are
release
deep
on
yellow.
Xbox Series X and S last month. Reviewers and gamers alike were blown away by how well the stunning visuals and the depth of the simulation translated to the console, and that's why I'm extremely honored to welcome the head of Microsoft Flight Simulator, York Newman, to the stream. York, thank you for being here. The last
over
time
with
we
the
met was
aviator
at the
jacket
Xbox
on?
Game
You
Showcase,
ready?
and it was getting ready to come out on consoles. How did that go?
It went great. As you said, the reaction to the Xbox console launch was really just amazing. Both from Xbox gamers and from the press, they've been so gracious with their feedback. I don't know if you know, but Flight Simulator is one of the highest rated games on Xbox this year, which I think is just great validation that the translation of the simulation to the console has really worked well.
I mean, yeah, Flight Sim is
our
our
usage
highest
numbers are
rated
through the
game on
roof.
Xbox.
We
And
are
everybody like, but it's a
absolutely
simulator.
shattering
But it's
franchise
like,
records,
you
and I can tell
play
you,
it, though.
there have never been more people playing
So
Flight
it's a
Simulator than
game.
right now. So it's
There's
an awesome
plenty of
time.
simulator games people
That is
love to
awesome.
play.
Congratulations on the
Fucking
launch,
truck
really.
simulator,
But
farming simulator. It's just Flight Sim's the best. And he putting on the
All
fucking
right.
glasses.
I want to go to the danger zone. So what's going on with Top Gun?
There's so much going on, Paris. So you and I talked about Top Gun Maverick earlier. The fans are super excited. They saw the FA-18. They can't wait to start flying. And as you know, it comes out later this year as free DLC alongside the movie. But as the movie is
Oh,
still
yeah,
under
the Top
wraps,
Gun.
so are we. So I can still not tell you
Can you
that
drop
much about
bombs,
it.
though?
But there's so much else going on even before Maverick. So we are continuing to do our monthly big releases that we've been doing for a long time. And next month, on September 7th, we are launching World Update 6. And this world update, I mean, at the beginning of the show, if you remember, there was a little red plane flying into Cologne. Well, we did that because World Update 6 updates that region, the region of Gamescom. So Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And what that means to us is we have new aerial and satellite images. We have a new elevation map that helps us with the mountains. So the Alps actually look awesome
so they're
now.
rescanning
We
to,
have
like,
new
get
3D cities like
updates on
Frankfurt
the
and Wuppertal
world.
in Germany. We have Basel in Switzerland. We have Vienna and Graz in Austria, and
I mean, that looks damn
and those
fucking
cities
good,
look
bro.
just
Flight
amazing.
Sim just
amazing.
looks
They have like
amazing.
7
They
centimeters
just need to
resolution,
build Flight
resolution, and
Sim
it's
as a
awesome.
world and then put
but
an
we want to
MMO in
celebrate
it.
the entire region, so we picked 100 of the most
just let you
scenic
blow it
places,
up.
the most famous landmarks, and
Or
we
just
call
put
those
a
POIs,
game in
and
it.
we sort of spread them throughout
Because
the,
there's no
throughout the
more-
simulation.
there's
and,
not a game
and
world
we
more
also
detailed
added
than Flight
airports. We
Sim.
did Lübeck and
I know
Stuttgart
that
in
bitch would
Germany
take a
and
fucking
Klagenfurt in
monster
Austria and
PC
St.
to
Gallen
run, though.
in Switzerland.
Damn,
and,
never mind. Scratch
and what
that.
it ties it all together is missions. We're having new discovery flights, we have new landing challenges, and we have new sort of tours of the country. So they fly you around all the awesome looking places and really celebrate the beauty of this region of Earth. And this is a celebration of DACH, of Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. I'm so happy to be able to announce the date here at Gamescom.
You know, that is really incredible, all the different regions and everything that you're going to have in the game, and the way that you're going to be able to actually highlight those.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. But you know, for us, it's actually not just the region and the visuals. We talked a lot when you study aviation, when you love aviation like we do. You actually realize that a lot of regions of Earth have a very special relationship with flying, with aviation. Sometimes it's, you know, the first experiments with aircraft, or a famous pilot, or a feat of aviation, or like a local manufacturer. So we thought to ourselves, why do we not use these world updates to celebrate the planes? So we are announcing a new series. We call them Local Legends. And think about that as planes that are locally well known, like in that region, but outside in the world, not so much.
Yeah.
But why not use the world updates to highlight this? To
Oh,
bring
they
these
should put the
awesome
Wright
machines
brothers
to a worldwide
plane in,
audience.
bro. Let you
So
fly
for
that
World
piece
Update
of
6, we
garbage
picked
around.
a German plane
I
from the
would do it.
1930s. It's called
the game,
Junkers
not in real life.
U-52. In Germany, it's lovingly named Tante U, so Aunt U. And we think of us as sort of a digital preservation. So we really want to get these planes to an extreme level of detail. We're going out of our way to really go deep. So we're doing a full scan. We'll take full scans of the outside and the inside,
Is this a
as
battle
detailed
plane,
as
like
1 millimeter,
WW2?
which is as good as you can do this. And then we're working with, for the Junkers, we work with Bernd Junkers,
There's
who
a
is
lot
the
of fucking
grandson of
detail
the
on the
original
plane
creator
engine,
of
bro.
the plane, Hugo Junkers. And he's helping us. He had a
Yeah, I
ton
didn't
of
have to go
insider
that hard.
materials. Then we worked with an organization that is preserving one of the last surviving examples of the Junkers. So they let us scan and take
definitely a
photographs. And then we
WW2
were lucky that to
fucking
find a
aircraft
pilot
they
that actually
parachute
flew
right
one
out
of
that
those
bitch into
planes while it
war
was still
zones.
flying in the real world. And he lets us know, like, is the cockpit right and the sounds right? Does it feel right in the air? So we're having a blast working with these experts to really to celebrate this plane, to bring them back to life.
So this is almost like you're creating like a digital museum for aviation inside Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically that. It's a museum with flyable planes. So we're working with 40 museums around the world. And it's honestly one of the funnest parts of the job. You end up working with these curators of planes. These are their babies. And they sort of see the tooth of time in the real world sort of nagging on their remaining planes. And they're so happy when we come in with our scanning equipment and we're basically capturing their planes. And they know that we can digitally preserve them in perpetuity. And we're actually giving those scans back to the museum so they can do something with it. And it's a great collaboration.
So they're going to
And
recreate
we're actually
these
not
old
just
ass planes
looking
with
back
these
in the
scans
history of
y'all
aviation,
making?
we're also looking towards the future. So I have another announcement. We are working with a fascinating German company called Volocopter.
Yeah.
And they're making an eVTOL air taxi for urban traffic. So they have a vision of the future, how these drone-type machines
the
basically
fuck?
connect
They got-
people in large cities. We're
they got
working
air
directly with the
traffic
engineering team
taxis,
to
bro.
make sure that we are capturing their plane and their aircraft perfectly in the flight simulator, and that's coming out in November.
Don't do it,
I
Germany.
mean, you weren't
What
kidding
the
when you're
fuck
saying
y'all
that there's a
thinking, bro?
lot going on inside of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, there's one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to announce that we've partnered with RARA. That's the Reno Air Racing Association. And every year they put on something called the Steel National Championship Air Race. and we're bringing this to Flight Simulator. So this is the fastest motorsport. This is right down your alley. It's the fastest motorsport on Earth, and I actually brought you a little trailer to look at.
So race, speed, we go into the danger zone, baby. Let's go ahead and show that.
What they put in racing? Flight sim racing? Bro, they better not freaking have collisions on. Play it day one. Game Pass. See,
You know I like going fast, and you know I love being in the danger zone. When is this coming out?
Man, these planes, they fly 500 miles, faster than 500 miles an hour, 50 to 250 feet above the ground. So you are definitely going to be in the danger zone. I mean, without going into too much detail, this Reno Air Race is actually the largest expansion we have since we launched on Flight Simulator. It's not just because we scanned all the famous race planes of the world, there's lots of them. This is also the first time when you can basically race against your friends and pilots across the planet.
they
And
really
so
put in racing
a competitive
and flight sim.
multiplayer is
See,
coming to
I
Microsoft
wasn't
Flight
expecting
Simulator.
them to actually make a
And
game out of
that
it,
will
and they're
definitely test your
putting
pilot
game
skills.
shit in
And you
it.
ask, when is it coming out? This is coming out this fall, so it's right around the corner.
Oh, that is fantastic. And you know I have the need for speed, so I can't wait to get my hands
Bro,
on
I'm about
this
to
and
have so
participate
many
in
flight
some of
sim
these
races.
iterations.
Awesome, man. We got you covered.
I wonder if it's gonna be. See,
If going
I'm
fast on the
kinda bad
ground
at
is more
flight
your
sim.
speed, keep an eye out for an extended look at Forza Horizon 5 later on in the stream. We'll also talk with Wasteland 3's game director about the game's next big DLC. But first, if you're an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, we have some great news for you.
All right, Game Pass, what you got? More hits.
Here I come!
Oh, the indie games. Some of these came out. What is that one?
Build a weapon, one that blows the world.
Some of these are fucking crazy, bro. I wouldn't play that one.
Build a rocket that'll come and take away.
Building rockets? I would play that.
All gonna come back. I am coming back.
All right.
Build a
They look
weapon
kinda
that'll
cool.
turn us into new
I thought this came out already.
borns again. Build a weapon, one that blows the world away. Build a rocket that'll come and take away us all. Gonna come back. I am
Unpacking.
back in a day.
Is it unpacking simulator?
Build a weapon that'll turn us into new borns
That looks
again.
fucking weird. I'll try it. Some of these ones look fucking crazy. I like the art on some of them though. Game Pass. I like Game Pass for indie games, bro.
Yep, somehow they did it. They added even more games to Game Pass. But let's talk about what's coming up. We're talking Age of Empires 4, the game's creative director, and we're going to see what's next for Sea of Thieves. But now, we've got a new roguelike retro shooter that, in grand retro fashion, sends you plundering through shifting dungeons to defeat a mysterious eldritch terror. Let's dive into the pit.
Into the pit. Oh. Oh yeah, this is definitely retro style. Wait, they never talked about this. Is this new? Is it? Bro, is this Pixel Doom? It's Pixel Doom. Let's go. Indie Pixel Doom. I mean, I'll give it a try. It is no harm in it because it is in Game Pass. You get to play it for free. No risk, bro. Just no risk. That is legit Pixel Doom. This shit might be hard though. What do you have? Health bar. Oh, I didn't see the rest of the it's like Hades, where you have to go from room to room. October 9th. Okay. Alright.
Well, I am here with creative director of World's Edge, Adam Eisgreen. And Adam, I'm so excited to talk Age 4, of course, because you've brought something a little different and very special today.
Yeah, I have. So, so far we've been showing everyone kind of what Age looks like from in the game, when you're playing it. You've gotten to see a lot of footage of that. And we've also shown a little bit of our campaigns, right, through when we unveiled the 100 Years' War and showed Joan of Arc. But we have yet another way in Age of Empires 4 that we're kind of bringing history to life that we haven't talked about yet.
See, you do this to me. You put me in suspense. I want to know more, so let's go with it.
Well,
let's hear it more.
Okay, wait, you get one moment of suspense. Okay, that's enough. So what we brought today is we have these wonderful little videos that we've created that are interspersed amongst the campaign, and they're about 3 to 5 minutes each. And we have over an hour of them total, and they're called Hands-on Histories. And what they are is a great way to like deep dive on certain fun subjects from the cultures we're representing and just from medieval history.
Excellent. Well, I hear you've actually brought one of those segments that you're going to share here for the very first time.
Yes, I have. We are going to show you the segment on one of the most popular units from Age of Empires franchise and a fan favorite, the Trebuchet.
Excellent. Well, this I got to see.
Trebuchet.
Let's take a look.
Catapults. Fire the
counterweight
catapults.
trebuchet
Age of Empires is gonna be on PC
was the
only.
king of
ain't
all
it?
siege engines.
PC Game Pass.
A catapult capable of smashing down castle walls from great distances. At Warwick Castle in England, they've built a replica, one of the largest in the world.
They
Originating
actually
in
built
7th
an
century
old
China,
siege weapon.
by the 13th century, trebuchets had evolved into devastatingly powerful weapons.
Such a simple design, but so effective.
It has several key features.
Damn, I need to get into engineering.
A pivoted arm with a weight at one end, and a sling to hold the projectile at the other. To prime, the 6-ton weight is raised using tread wheels.
So this is one of the wheels, one of 2 that's attached to an axle, which would lift the
She
counterweight,
really got in the fucking
weighing
trebuchet.
6 tons.
What if they
It's
just
based
lashed
on
it and
muscle
just sent
power
her ass
alone.
gone?
What's essential about launching a projectile as far as possible is making sure that this end of the arm is moving as fast as possible. So once that weight drops, it really sends this point of the arm moving at its highest velocity.
This was done by positioning the pivot close to the counterweight and by launching the projectile from a sling. When released, the sling whips round, vastly increasing the launch speed.
Yeah, which I never understood what
Trebuchets
mastermind
were
of the
carefully
past
aimed,
learned
like
to
modern
aim that
guns.
fucking thing.
In order to weaken the castle walls or even breach them, you had to make sure that the projectiles hit the same spot every single time.
For each projectile to follow the same trajectory, they all had to be the same weight and shape. To achieve this, masons used a gauge.
Now I'm going to load this projectile into the sling. This one
You
must
can
weigh
barely
about
lift
25
it.
kilograms, but some projectiles can get up to 150 kilograms. That's the weight of 2 men.
Trebuchets were also used to throw burning tar, beehives, even dead bodies. Anything to cause maximum distress to the enemy.
Did you hear that whoosh?
Yeah, they just fling the fuck
It
out
was
of
the
that shit.
counterweight trebuchet's lethal combination of power and accuracy that made it the ultimate medieval siege weapon.
video, which is kind of lit.
You know I'm
I
gonna
ain't even
say
fake it. But
trebuchet.
who?
Don't care because that is awesome.
I need
and
to look that up.
Remarkably
Who
unique,
created
something you
that
don't see in
thing?
games very
And
often.
who the fuck learned to
Yeah,
aim?
so, you know, one of the things when we were looking at what we were going to do with Age of Empires 4, there's a phrase I'm really fond of, which is history is only as interesting as the people who taught it to you. And you could say that about any subject, really, right? But I think the great thing is when you have someone that's so enthusiastic and passionate about history, it really comes across. And we wanted to be that kind of teacher for history. And there's a phrase called humanized history that I use to kind of describe what we tried to do, which is we tried to like connect past and present. And you can see that kind of in our briefings as well, where we've got like real stuff with like CG kind of overlaid to show you the history. And so for these, we really wanted to do that same thing. So ourselves and Relic partnered with this amazing group in the UK called Lion TV, and they've done production on an amazing amount of shows and documentaries for the BBC and won every award you can imagine for media. And they travel to all of these locations in all these different countries to meet with these subject matter experts and get all of this great footage on how things really worked and how things were made. And it's been delightful to kind of go through that process and, you know, get all these and finally start showing them to everyone.
I love it. Now, you also, of course, you've got a bunch, as you mentioned, of these hands-on history segments. Anything else that you can tell us fans about what we can expect, looking forward to? Any favorites you got coming up?
Oh, well, favorites. Oh, man. Well, I think my personal favorite is one called Medieval Surgery.
Okay.
And I'm going to let your imagination go
Medieval
with what
Surgery,
you might
bro.
show
They
and
was,
what you might talk about
they was
in that
leeching
one.
people and
But the thing I
and
love about them is that they
amputating
go all
shit
over
with
the
a
place. So, you know,
frying
you've got
pan.
ones on
Oh,
warfare and
man.
castle
Medieval-
building and like how
that
they
shit was
kept
wild.
flaming arrows from not going out when you shot them. And but we've also got all of these ones on, you know, like illuminated history and
what is he?
hawk falconing and, you know, like horse taming, armor creation, and there's even one on Mongolian instrumentation, which is really cool because those instruments, we actually use them in the soundtrack for the Mongols when you're playing as them in the campaign in the game.
In the game. I mean, I just love the behemoth amount of history that you guys. Age of Empires, always known for bringing history alive in a completely different way. And I also love to mention this to people that you and the team do so much research, and it's so great to see this approach being used in a hands-on history kind of segment. But I mean, what was that approach like to sort of, you know, sell going forward, especially since it's such a unique in-game experience?
Well, the cool thing was it was there from day one. It was one of the things I was really wanted to do is try to tell these stories in a different way. But I'll tell you, like full disclosure, it's been insanely nerve-wracking because we're trying something completely different that no one's ever done before in a game, right? We're history, but we're a game, but we're teaching you things, but you're having fun. And finding that middle ground has been really challenging. And you know, every time we've tried to show, we've shown the campaigns or we've shown these hands-on histories, I've been like, oh God, is it gonna work? Like, people gonna like this? And the great thing is, so far, everyone that's really experienced the entire thing
they show
put
something
together
that works so
has just
hard
been
on
like,
just
wow,
for
this is
somebody
great.
like me
and
to
it's
be
so
like,
different
bro,
and
this
kind
is
of cool and
trash.
refreshing. So
it
so far, so
completely
good,
demoralized
right?
the team,
But
bro.
yeah,
It's just like,
it's been a journey,
damn, the
you know,
fans
to get
don't
all
like
this
it.
done and put the whole game together.
Well, I love that you mentioned Journey because we are coming towards the end
Oh my
of
gosh.
this development journey for
Yes.
Age 4. Talk to me about where people can find and learn more about Age of Empires 4. I know they're all chomping at the bit.
Oh, well, you know, October 28th, we are launching the game. You can go to ageofempires.com to learn more about the title. And if you're
October
really, really
28th.
excited, right now, you can go onto the Microsoft Store or Steam, pre-order the game right now. And of course, we will be there day one, Xbox Game Pass for PC as well. So anyone that's on that can just grab the game and start playing. But
Yes, I believe you are a part of something very special.
yes, so Gamescom opening night live.
Yes.
11 a.m. Pacific time. There might be something Age of Empires related in there, so if you're a fan, you probably
oh,
should
they're gonna
tune
be at Gamescom some
A
more.
bit of a tease from Mr. Ice Green.
maybe.
And I like it very much. Adam, thank you so much for joining us here.
Always a pleasure, Kate.
Always a pleasure. Age of Empires 4 looks fantastic, so I cannot wait. October 28th, neither should you. Now, we have tons coming up here today, including a new update for State of Decay 2 and an extended look at
State of
Forza
Decay 2
Horizon
is getting
5
an
with
update.
our
They're
friends at
working on State
Playground
of Decay
Games. But
3.
now, let's catch up with Paris.
Go full
who's
throttle
gone
on
from
that shit.
flying
Y'all
the
got like
skies in
2 more
Microsoft Flight
years.
Sim to a different kind of cloud.
I think. When the
That's
fuck
right,
State of Decay
Kate.
3 come out?
Xbox Cloud Gaming is already available on Windows PCs, mobile phones, and tablets. And now, it's coming to Xbox consoles. The future with cloud gaming sounds bright. no waiting to install, no running out of hard drive space, no waiting to patch, and no buying a new console just to play with your friends. See how the vision of cloud gaming will bring people together without barriers.
See, and this is where Xbox strategy comes in.
So when I think about
'Cause
cloud
people
and when I think about
you gotta
gaming,
sell
those
consoles
two
to
things
get
together
gamers.
to me
But
really
what if they can
show
just
you the
use their old
future where you
fucking
can
console
pick
to
up
do it?
something and you could play it anywhere and you could do it quickly.
And this is like one of the smartest things in the world. Because now somebody can go out and buy an Xbox One and cloud game everything Xbox Series X. And they don't have to.
Cloud gaming's phenomenal.
It's too
That's
easy
pretty
for
great.
them.
I mean,
Microsoft
that's
is just
pretty
living
awesome.
in a fucking
This actually
future.
looks so good.
Games are large and you want to keep
So
the
yeah,
ones
you don't
that
need
you
to
know
sell
you
an
love
Xbox
on your
Series
hard
X or
drive.
S to-
Xbox Cloud
to
Gaming
get
is
people to
about
play
being
your
able
game.
to
You
discover
can
the
just
new
cloud
ones
stream
right
it to
away.
them. They got
It's
an
super
internet
exciting that
connection.
for
They
our
got
Game
an old
Pass Ultimate
Xbox One.
members, they will get to
Cloud
experience
gaming.
Xbox Cloud Gaming on
We
whatever
got
console
you.
they have.
Cloud gaming is really about looking at how people play differently. I know me in particular, sometimes I just have 20 minutes.
It should be as easy as finding the game that you look for on your console and just jumping right in.
Bro, I can't wait to test this out, bro, because we didn't even
What's
know this.
crazy
was
about this
well, I
is
kind of
the
knew it was
latency.
coming
This
because
is the
they
kind of
talked
stuff you
about
need
it.
with cloud
Phil
gaming.
talked about
60
it
frames, that's
some
actually
months
very
ago.
smooth.
But they didn't
The
implement
process
it.
itself to
Like,
get
we
into
ain't even
cloud
get
gaming
it
feels
into
like you're
testing
playing on
yet.
console, right? You go, you find the game you want, you press play.
It's so easy nowadays.
I'm
You can pick
gonna
up any
abuse the fuck
device
out of
and
that,
pretty much
bro.
play
Like,
any
come
Xbox
on, I'm about to
game on
delete
Game
every
Pass.
game off a hard drive, except the ones that have to be downloaded.
If my friends have titles that I don't have
And
yet,
just cloud
I can
gaming
just
to
wait for
everything.
them to send me an invite. It makes content just so much more
Especially like all the
accessible.
indie games that I be wanting to play, but
I really love the flexibility.
Call of Duty
It's
takes up all the
awesome.
space.
Everything that Xbox is doing right now is just getting rid of the limits of having to be on a specific platform or a specific console, play on PC and mobile, and now on Gen 8.
Yeah, Gen 8 consoles can play Gen 9 content. Isn't that so cool?
With cloud
Yeah,
gaming,
that's gonna be
we have the
fucking
ability
massive,
because
bro.
you are connecting to consoles that are in our data centers
Because
to
they don't have
allow
to-
the Gen 8 customers, the
Xbox,
Xbox
yeah,
One
fucking
customers,
geniuses
to
over
play
there.
games that their
Aaron
hardware wouldn't
fucking
have been able to
Greenberg.
play without it.
There's
And
so much
Phil,
opportunity when it comes to thinking
Satya.
about how we can make content more readily available
else?
and let
Who's
people
the other
play where they want to. Sign me up. I'm ready for cloud gaming right now. Let's do it.
Oh,
When's the
I
release
forgot,
date? When does it release?
Damn, I forgot the dude name. But they are just creating like this web of gaming that nobody fucking thought imaginable. I'm just waiting on my email.
August 9th saw the release of the free optimized update for Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice
And
on
that
the
shit was
Xbox
beautiful.
Series S and X. With beautiful and rich visuals, thanks to the addition of ray tracing and improved materials alongside performance updates, this is the perfect opportunity to relive Senua's journey or experience it for the first time. And if you haven't played this, do yourself a favor, grab a pair of headphones and immerse yourself into this world.
Don't wear the
Agreed.
headphones,
Speaking
bro,
of
'cause they
unique
will start
experiences
whispering in the
on
back of
Game
your
Pass,
ear, and
the
you gonna
Xbox
be
Plays
freaking
team
the
will be
fuck out.
taking a look at some ID at Xbox titles over the next few days, including 12 Minutes and The Big Con.
They're also talking with developers from Halo, the Master Chief Collection, Forza Horizon 5, and Destiny 2. So join the live Q&A to get your burning questions answered. You can catch all of those streams on twitch.tv/Xbox.
I'm gonna be too busy
Speaking of
playing the
Forza
games
Horizon
to
5,
be
don't forget
listening
our
to y'all
friends at
talk about 'em.
Playground
Sorry.
Games will give us an extended look at their monument to motoring in Mexico later on.
That includes never-before-seen areas of the game map, plus cars that have never been in the Forza franchise before. I've loved everything I've seen of Forza Horizon 5 so far, and I can't wait. Now, Kate, there's more games to check out, right?
Well, right you are, Paris. Let's talk Wasteland 3. Their newest DLC introduces us to a new cult. The Cult of the Holy Detonation.
Oh. This is like
Holy
what are their names in Fallout?
Deep within Cheyenne Mountain,
The children of Adam.
changed, devolved into the mutations you see before you.
What the fuck?
Set on a righteous path.
Yeah, they are the children of Adam. But
the
in the
holy
Wasteland universe.
detonation's life-giving glow should be shared with everyone.
I never understood why the fuck they worship
May the
radiation
light of
and
the
atom
holy
bombs. But
detonation
this is just taking it to
purify.
the next level.
Join us, Rangers.
Wasteland was fucking hard to play on console and on PC. I never got past the first boss. Or the second boss. I think it's...
With new patches, bug fixes, and added features, like a fine wine, Wasteland 3 just gets better with age. To really savor the game's bouquet, we're talking with inXile game director David Rogers. David, thank you for joining us.
I'm super stoked to be here. Thanks.
So in the trailer, we saw that the DLC is coming out on October 5th, but we know, inXile Wasteland 3, you guys have been working on this for a very long time. So can you kind of talk about that journey?
Yeah, our dev team has been working nonstop, full tilt, trying to make Wasteland 3 the best version of itself it could be. Over the past year since it's released, we've added features, we've balanced, we've listened to the community, we've fixed bugs, added stability, and I really think that the version that we have now is the absolute best version of the game, and if you've never played it before, now's an awesome time to jump in.
I mean, I can try it again.
Congratulations on everything that you've been doing with Wasteland 3. Now, this
DLC
DLC is called The Cult of the Holy Detonation. Now, talk about that a little bit. Tell me what's going to go into this DLC. What should we be excited about?
Right. So you've heard of Cheyenne Mountain, right?
Yes.
For those who haven't, Cheyenne Mountain is this top secret military complex buried deep in the heart of Cheyenne Mountain in the middle of Colorado. It's designed to outlast a nuclear winter. And so when you hit level 16, an old friend calls you and says, hey, I need your help securing this secret military base and all the secrets within. And as soon as you get there, you find two warring cults battling over supremacy, trying to take control of the Holy Detonation, which is this pre-war science experiment that they worship as a god. And, these cultists are insane, they're mutated, they've gone totally mad, and all they want to do is share the holy radiation with you and your entire ranger team. How generous!
Yeah, that sounds a lot cooler than some of the cults I may have joined in the past.
I swear, they're going full children
This
of
is
Adam.
typical Wasteland fashion. We're really going to be able to get in there and mix it up, right?
Right. So you and your ranger team insert yourself right smack dab in the middle of their holy war, which, what could go wrong?
Yeah.
And this is a Wasteland game, so you decide everything. Choice and consequence is our bread and butter. And so you decide who lives, who dies, who gets screwed over, who takes charge. You're deciding the fate of the cults, the Holy Detonation, Cheyenne Mountain, and ultimately all of Colorado. This is really your game to craft and mold.
That's awesome.
I want to play
the
this
last
shit, but I'm
expansion
just so
was the
fucking
Battle of
bad at it.
Steeltown, right? You had giant robots and things like that. So, what are you going to do to actually top something like that from the last expansion?
Right. So we wanted returning players to find something that they could never find in another version or in previous versions of Wasteland 3. And so we built this as a Wasteland-style dungeon crawl. And in there, you find this awesome mix of mystery, exploration. You're meeting these crazy cultists who have been locked in this pre-war time capsule, and some of the raddest boss battles we have ever been able to build in a Wasteland game.
That's awesome. I want to get back to the crazy cultists, but talk to me about these big boss battles. I want to hear more about that.
Right. So we took the best parts of Wasteland combat and we breathed new life into it with objective-based combat, which are basically super rad boss battles. It's no longer you're huddling in a corner, throwing down turrets, just going on murderous rampages. It's not about killing, it's about getting the job done. And so now combat doesn't end until the mission is over. We send you on proper combat missions. You're in there breaking into prisons, rescuing POWs. You're disrupting these high-tech cultist rituals. You are splitting your fire team and coordinating like you never have had to before. Everyone on your team has a job, and I really think this is going to take old players who know their ranger team like the back of their hands, and it's going to make them scratch their head and really have to rethink how they go about combat and making it new, exciting, and challenging mentally in a way you haven't been able to really do before with just straight up
I tried to go in there like
combat.
a fucking noob,
Now,
and I got my shit smacked because I don't know how to build a fucking ranger team.
What are some of the weird characters we can expect in some of the story encounters we'll see in the game?
Yeah, with Cult of the Holy Detonation, we really got to cut our devs loose and just let them be creative and fun and silly. inXile's modus operandi is if we're brainstorming and something makes us laugh, we just put it in the game. That's just how we do it, and we pick up the pieces afterwards. Because we want to make something that entertains us, and then we know if we're having fun, our fans are going to have fun along with us. And so we got to explore, really letting you get deep into this weird radiation cult and let you interact with them and talk with them. and tell stories and like maybe even join them.
Yeah.
And so like for instance, one of the characters you meet, one of the first cultists you meet, is this slathering beast. He's got like claws and fangs and spikes jutting out, and he's drooling, but he's like the nicest guy in Cheyenne Mountain. Like you meet him and he's like, hey guys,
He's like, oh, he's a
you should,
cool
like,
guy.
come
Like,
in here and
you
like
mean
soak
the
up some of these
man-eating
rats. It'll be
fucking
great.
creature over there?
And he
Like, yeah,
Sherpas
he's
you
great.
in and lets you meet the whole cult. And like, and another one of my
This man got
favorites
a top
is the
hat on.
Proteus. He's what you get if you took like 20 cultists and you like melted them into a big pile, kind of like I would do this with like a magnifying glass. I would like melt like army guys and like GI Joes into a big pile, and he's wet and sloppy and gross, and he's hard to understand, and he needs a translator supposedly, but he's like your #1 fan, and getting to build like this totally
the
out there
fuck is
wild
that?
extreme character was a ton of fun to write for. It's a ton of
created
fun
that?
to like
Poly P?
explore like what makes this cult tick, and he's an absolute blast. Hell, even some of the weapons that you find in Cheyenne Mountain, they're devolved cultists. Like there's one guy and he kind of devolved into this like vomiting bagpipe creature, and he has this real like kill me vibe about him. But we get to play with these fun body horror themes that let us jackknife between sort of like dark and serious
That's a
and like
fucking
goofy and funny,
person?
which is a line that
It's
Wasteland really loves to ride.
spit
Like,
gun.
you know, a lot of really important stuff is at stake, but you know, the Wasteland's a pretty bizarre place.
Oh, I can imagine. Now, we talked before, you've been working on Wasteland 3 for a while. There's already expansions that are out there. But say I'm a new player. Say I'm watching this right now and I'm like, man, I want to get into Wasteland 3. What would you suggest for new players wanting to get into this?
And like I said at the top, like Wasteland is like the best version of itself right now because of all the work we've put into it over the past year. And so you can get the whole thing with the Colorado collection. That's the base game plus Cult of the Holy Detonation and Battle of Steeltown, all for a discount. Or if you have Game Pass, you already have Wasteland 3. Just download it and play it. And then you can get both expansions with the expansion pass.
That is awesome. Now, to kind of recap this a little bit, we've talked about, you know, spewing pus bags and these weird characters and the cults and the boss battles and all these really cool things that are going to be in Wasteland 3. But please remind everyone before we get out of here, when can you pick up this DLC?
Right, this work of passion, it comes out on October 5th. We're really stoked.
October
That is awesome.
5th.
So this is the Cult.
October
of the
is
Holy
packed
Detonation.
with
of the Holy
Xbox shit, bro.
Detonation coming October 5th. David, thank you so much for
Because
joining
what comes
us.
Thanks,
out
Parrish. Appreciate it.
Right.
in October?
In the 3 years since its launch, Sea of Thieves has played host to some incredible crossovers, including unique ship sets inspired by games like Battletoads, State of Decay, Halo, and more. Today, we're excited to announce a brand new special event that will award players an all-new ship as a part of the latest wild crossover heading to Sea of Thieves. Better yet, this event begins tomorrow. So get ready to make some mayhem, and let's get our first look at this very special ship.
See if these always got some heat. It's a fucking Vault Hunter ship. Oh, I thought they was gonna have Claptrap on the front. I know they can't go that far, I don't think. It's a barrel Claptrap.
Guten Tag, everyone. Really cool to be a part of this all-digital Gamescom event. And we were thinking, what's the best way to kind of celebrate Gamescom and to be a part of this as Sea of Thieves? And so we're really excited to reveal that we're bringing the Mayhem ship set that you've just seen, a really, really cool ship that's inspired by Borderlands, into Sea of Thieves, and we're giving all of our players a chance to earn it during
I like how
the
his
Gamescom
window
time period.
in his
So
background
it's been really cool
was
to work
outside
with the
Sea of
Borderlands
Thieves,
team
like
to
he's in
bring
the
this
game,
ship to life.
sitting
We're
at the
giving all of our
desk.
players
I
the
wish
chance
somebody
to
would
earn it
walk
as
past
part
that
of this
fucking
live
window.
event that we've cunningly titled Mayhem. You might notice the link. So you can probably guess the kind of activities that are involved. But if you head to Larina at any of the outposts in the Sea of Thieves world, she'll be able to fill you in on the details of what you need to go do to earn the ship set. So we hope everybody gets a chance to take part in this awesome time-limited event. So it starts today, and it runs through to September the 7th. So that's the time period you've got to get your hands on the Mayhem ship set.
I want them to
And
make
think
another
that's it from
glow-in-the-dark
me.
ship.
So as always, I will see you on the seas.
fucking State of Decay. This shit was so good.
It's always been a dangerous world in
I just can't wait for
Trumbull
State of Decay 3.
But now, it's hope that brings us back together. It reunites old friends. It builds new bonds.
That's a big
And in
ass
the
sniping
face
rifle.
of a growing threat, hope
The
is the
blood
greatest
plague.
weapon we have.
Have I made any YouTube videos on State of Decay? Who's my nigga Jordan? I don't think I have. I definitely live streamed it a lot. Bases.
Welcome back to Trumbull
September 1st.
Valley.
But that wasn't a new map, was it? Because that's the map from Heartland.
Well, just like zombies themselves, it seems everything old is new again in State of Decay 2. And we have a guest to walk us through this Undead update. Please join me in welcoming Undead Labs Director of Communications, Wanda Russell. Hello, Wanda. How are you?
Hello, I'm great. It's great to be here. Talk about the Homecoming update releasing on September 1st. We are very excited to get this into players' hands.
You are indeed. So let's talk
I like
about
her
the Homecoming
shoes.
update. Obviously, we
And her
are coming back
pants.
to Trumbull Valley.
Mhm.
We were there for Heartland, the update, back in 2019. Talk to me about the differences, and I'll sit right here and listen because you're adorable.
So Heartland is the story mode within the game, but it's a very linear, narrative-driven experience. You know, players couldn't move their communities there. So that's all changed with the Trumbull Valley map. It is the 5th core open world map. It's fully remastered, and it expands into 2 territories that were completely inaccessible in Heartland. So players can return to Trumbull Valley with their communities, start new communities there, and really start exploring everything that the new map has to offer.
So then, would Homecoming be a sequel then to Heartland?
Yeah, exactly right. So the events in Heartland kind of play out. You see what happens in Trumbull Valley. So we think of it as the 3rd part of our Trumbull saga that began with the original State of Decay game, continued into Heartland, and now we see what has happened since then and what storylines might be coming to a close. So there is a lot for players to discover, a lot of environmental storytelling to find, and you know, things have changed. So this isn't the Trumbull Valley that players might remember. So that's going to be exciting.
Interesting. Well, and anytime you expand something like Trumbull Valley, you just have to have a juggernaut of content, pun intended. Talk to me a little bit about what some of those things are the players can get in on here now in the expanded Trumbull Valley.
Yes, a ton of new content. In fact, we're doing something unique with the Trumbull Valley map. There are items there that you can only find on that map and nowhere else in the game, including 12 new hats and outfits, 10 new very cool weapons. We've got 6 new bases, 2 new achievements for achievement hunters. And on top of that, we are adding the game's 12th bounty pack. So that will be available from the bounty broker across all maps. And I have to say, they are some of the coolest weapons I have ever seen go into the game. I'm so excited
Some
for
new
people to
bounties?
find them.
I only
A
did a couple
juggernaut
of them, 'cause
amount
there was
of
some nice-ass
content, and I
weapons and
don't care who
bounties.
sees that
I
second
love
pun
it.
of the day. That works out great. Well, let's talk about the State of Decay community, because it's absolutely an integral part to this entire franchise. And State of Decay being on Xbox Game Pass, how has that impacted the community? How has that impacted the game? Talk to me about those.
It's been fantastic, and you know, we have an amazing community. We love them so much. In fact, one of the reasons we're doing Trumbull Valley as a map is because it was one of the most requested features from the community, which also makes it very exciting for us to be able to say, we did it, you get it. And we have a major milestone that we're celebrating. State of Decay 2 has 10 million lifetime players.
10 million lifetime hang your hat on that. I absolutely love that. That is
Really grateful.
I mean, State of
incredible,
Decay is
amazing news.
fucking
Congratulations
good.
to you and the
It's
entire
fun,
team
and
at
it's
Undead Labs.
it's like
man.
an indie
Fantastic
game.
work. Well, speaking of
Like,
Xbox Game Pass,
it's
let's
a
give me the
it's like
deets
an
one more
indie game,
time
but
when it
it's-
comes to the update.
Well,
so
it
the
is an
update
indie game.
releases September 1st. It's a free update
it's-
for all State of Decay 2 owners, and it's included
I
with
think it's
Xbox Game Pass.
Like a double A game,
homecoming.
a single A game. I know it's
Makes you wonder
definitely
very
low
much.
budget.
My pleasure.
And that's why State
Now
of
we
Decay
move
3 is
from
supposed to be the
Trumbull
first
Valley to the Lost
AAA
Valley
version
of
of
Akria.
it.
This mystical
And I just
location
wanna
trades zombies
see
for ancient
more.
warrior clans, forgotten temples of long dead god kings, and a healthy dose of hack and slash. All this awaits in Stray Blade.
505 games. Stray Blade. See, I want to talk down on this. It's pre-alpha build, so I'm not, because I've been in a whole lot of pre-alphas. But I know for damn sure it doesn't look like you're doing damage to anybody. Except on those executions.
In Stray Blade, you discover the mystical lost valley of Akria, a world which ranges from overgrown temple ruins to frozen caves and winding canyons. A game world that changes based on your victories and plenty of dudes to stab in blade-to-blade combat. If that weren't enough, you even get a fuzzy little pal to help you out. Between the epic fights and this small guy, there's clearly a lot going on here. So let's hear more from Point Blank Games about Stray Blade.
Hello everybody, I'm Leonard Kausch, Game Director at Point Blank Games, and today I will show you Stray Blade.
Stray Blade.
Stray Blade is an action RPG where you play a rogue adventurer who is exploring the ancient valley of Akria with his companion, a witty wolf named Boji. Unveil the history of the Forgotten Valley, muster the powers of the 3 Akrian metals to restore balance to this war-torn land.
That is the how, as well as the why.
Combat and exploration are the 2 key elements of our game. Let's dive into the combat first. Our combat system merges strategic anticipation of enemy attacks with
See, I don't
split-second
like when you
blade-to-blade
slash
reactions.
niggas and they don't budge.
It is the high noon of skill-based melee weapon combat.
Like you
To
just tank
achieve
that
that,
shit.
we put our hearts into creating fluid, well-readable animations and epic cinematic finishes. You can choose from multiple weapon categories that can be
I like that
combined to
hammer
fit your
moveset.
playstyle. Now, let's take a look at the exploration.
Zweihände.
Akria's colorful world ranges from overgrown city ruins to frozen caves and winding canyons. Together with your companion, explore the deepest corners of an ever-changing world,
Sing me the
bristling with
code.
adventure.
I'ma test it.
Every discovery holds treasure. Find rare materials, recipes, weapons, lore pieces, and beautiful places. Change is part of your journey, where every victory impacts the world around
Bro, they
you.
got the Dark
When you
Souls
die,
overlay.
time keeps moving forward. Enemies can't stay dead. New foes invade camps that you
But where's
weakened.
the bonfire?
And when Boji
What
revives
do your
you,
bonfire
only
look
one
like?
thing is certain. The change you brought shapes what now awaits you. And of course, get ready for epic boss fights.
I knew this Ram was a boss.
We hope you enjoyed the first look at Stray Blade, which will be out next year. And keep an eye on our social media channels for more information.
Alright, Stray Blade 2022. Crusader
Next
Kings.
up, one of the most unique
So,
games
I got a
finally
story
comes to Xbox.
about Crusader
Yeah,
Kings.
unique. As in, my evil twin
The
murdered 4 of my
CPU is
husbands because
demons.
they secretly are in love with me. Unique.
In case that didn't tip you off, we're talking about Crusader Kings 3, the medieval grand strategy and role-playing game that has you trying to defend your royal line from those that would conquer your kingdom, and evil twins apparently.
Yeah. It's coming to Xbox as an adaptation, not a direct port, meaning that the UI and controls have been refined to bring that grand strategy experience to a controller.
Not to mention bringing the grand
It's coming to
strategy
console?
experience to my comfy living room couch.
Oh, I'm about to play
We'll
it.
all be ruling
The
from our
CPU
throne
is still
room
too
soon
hard
enough.
though, bro. I
Check
need to
out
turn it on
Crusader
like
Kings 3.
Please
now,
don't kill
coming
me.
to Xbox consoles.
Because they ran over my shit, bro, in like 3 years. Ten
My
out of 10
son,
IGN recommends.
We must
That mean
never
don't buy it.
forget the crimes committed against us. Your father sought his glorious revenge and failed.
I like the game though. I like the
never
map. I like the world. I like
Greatest
the things
wars
you
are
can
won with weddings,
and
not
say
warriors.
and like
daggers,
indulge in,
not
but then the
swords.
CPU comes at you with 3 armies of 1,000 people each and step on your
Only the
kingdom like it ain't shit.
small-minded measure success
No
across the
remorse.
span
They
of a
just kill you,
single life.
destroy everything, kill your family,
The
take
real
you
game
hostage.
is played across
Sometimes it's brutal.
generations. You see, real strategy requires cunning.
It's like poison their knife and back. Yeah, you like all of that shit. Like they can offer a fucking marriage proposal, and then they cook your shit by having your fucking wife to be murdered you in your
Crusader
sleep or
Kings
something.
3 is wild. You really haven't lived until you've made an 8-year-old the King of England.
Well, it's nice to have hobbies. We've all gotten into some weird stuff this past year.
Weird like diving into people's brains and exploring their mental universes projected into a psychedelic 60s wonderland kind of weird?
Exactly that kind of weird.
Fucking
Which means I
Psychonauts
am
2.
so
That shit
excited for
comes out
Psychonauts
tonight,
to
and
finally
I'm
get a
playing the
sequel.
hell
It has
out of
been
it.
so
Well, at
so
least a
long.
little bit.
There really is something special
With
about
my time.
Psychonauts, isn't it?
There really is indeed. Now, think about this. 2005, when Psychonauts originally came out, was a different time for gaming. Most of the biggest games that year, we're talking Resident Evil 4, Battlefield 2, Call of Duty 2. They were great games, for sure. But they were all big, beefy shooter games.
Meanwhile, Psychonauts had humor, whimsy, and surprisingly heartfelt moments. It was an oasis of color and humanity in an era when games were increasingly turning grimy, dark, and combative.
Not to mention having some deceptively deep character moments.
That's why the original is considered a cult classic.
Hopefully you can still punch
It has
kids in
been
this one.
a
Because
long
Psychonauts
time
1,
coming,
you could
and
punch
it is
other
finally
kids.
here.
And that
Enjoy
shit
this
was good.
long-awaited launch trailer for Psychonauts.
Well, this shouldn't take too long.
With psychic powers, he dives into your mind. My name is Raz.
Rasputin.
And I'm the new intern. And today is my first day on the job.
Get ready, Rasputin.
Did you forget everything I taught you about levitation, Rasputin?
I'm not supposed to check out equipment to interns.
You did what? Can we just...
No. Quit picking on the new kid. We were all new once, in case you forgot.
I've got eyes on the target. And I've got eyes on me.
All I see is another unruly peasant.
Oh boy.
When man doom is fires, turns our world on its side.
Shit is hella bright. You definitely turn the HDR off.
It wouldn't be the first time the Psychonauts underestimated Maligula's power.
I knew that fucking janitor old man was an OG from the first game. Because he talked to him and he's like the janitor. He's like creepy as hell. He's just standing there being old. But I knew he was an OG Psychonaut.
Well, it's clear I could not be more excited for Psychonauts 2 because I gotta be honest, me and that original game, we got some beef that needs settling. If you know, you know, the meat circus level, it is infamous, it is brutal, it is difficult to say the least. It's the final level of the original game that came out, and I cannot believe I'm doing the math on this one. 16 years ago, Tim Schafer and Lizette T-Tree Montgomery. I am definitely dating myself, but you all welcome from Double Fine Productions. Thank you so much for being here. Tim, can you believe it has been 16 years? I almost said 19 years.
Yeah, it feels like only yesterday, but it kind of was for Raz because the story picks up right where the first game left off. And even though it has been a lot of years, it's a game that matters a lot to us. We really love it here at Double Fine, and we know that a lot of fans, it meant a lot to them. And so we really want to be true to the spirit of the first game, which we were able to do because we brought back a lot of the same voice actors, and we also have a lot of people on the team here that worked on the first game, as well as bringing on a bunch of new people.
Because there's some art back there. I don't know what
It was really important for us to carry the legacy forward, especially the cool style of Wonk that is very prevalent in the first game.
Style of Wonk. Just put it on a shirt. I'm in there for it. Let's roll it back a bit. Of course, this can be kind of a trippy idea if you're not familiar. Psychonauts, they still jump into people's minds, I'm assuming, like the first game, right? So if a Psychonaut sort of dove into my brain, it would be like a lot of Ted Lasso quotes and French Bulldog memes. Am I correct, Tim?
Yeah, that's what's fun about a Psychonauts game is that all the levels are different, just like every person is different, based on their personality. If you could jump into someone's mind, what would it look like in there? What would be the color of the sky, and like who would the monsters be? And in Psychonauts, you get to do that because Raz has the power of astral projection. And when he goes in, he gets to fight those monsters and help people deal with their nightmares and wrestle with their inner demons. And so there's a ton of variety, and there's a lot of anything goes. We can go to any location, we can have any art style, and coming up with new levels for the second game was really fun to do.
Well, I loved it from the first game, certainly. Let's talk a little bit about how that kind of concept expresses itself in the game world. I mean, Psychonauts 2 has got it all over the place, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was really important for us to carry forward the unique brain worlds and unique levels from the first game and the unique style as well. So we really focused on how we could bring forward that style in Wonk and also bring in new levels and enemies.
Now, of course, it wouldn't be Psychonauts without new mental demons. And I'm sure it's happening in Psychonauts 2. What does this mean? Does it mean basically is that we're finally able to slap COVID anxiety in the face?
Well, I don't know if you get to slap anxiety in your face, but you definitely get to slap some panic attacks, and COVID definitely caused a lot of those. In addition to panic attacks, some of our old enemies have also come back. Our sensors are our favorites, and they're definitely here. And in addition to that, we also have our doubts. And some new enemies. There's our lovely sensor. Also some regrets, some flying regrets. They're our ranged enemy, and they definitely are challenging. Our doubts are our slow, sticky melee enemy. You're also seeing our enabler here. He is our, he energizes our whole combat troop. So we have a whole cast that you can battle and fight with.
Including the new Bad Mood.
Including the Bad Mood.
Which is
the electric storm of feelings that you have to fight.
Now, for those who haven't played the original, available now on Xbox Game Pass, by the way, wink. Tim, why is Raz so good at rummaging through brains?
Raz is, he has some very special skills. He has two whole sets of skills, one being the acrobatic skills he learned growing up in the circus. He can balance on tightropes, jump on trampolines, swing on trapezes, and that helps him navigate and get around to all kinds of interesting places. But he also has this other side to his personality, which is that he's a powerful psychic. So he can levitate objects, he can use telekinesis and pyrokinesis. He has these powers which people might recognize from the first game, as well as 3 new powers for the second game. He has the ability to mentally connect thoughts together, and he can connect 2 thoughts and actually connect 2 thoughts together to solve puzzles and to navigate in this game. He has the power of time bubble, which is just change and slow down how things are moving by changing people's perception of time. And he also has the power of projection, which allows him to pull an archetype, a personality, out of his unconscious mind and bring it into the world that he's in, like a companion in battle or in puzzle solving.
But let's talk about the story for a second, because as the original Psychonauts, we saw Raz training to be part of an organization, and now perhaps he's part of a whole organization at this point. And are there other brain agents, other Psychonauts out there that maybe grew up in a completely different circus?
Yeah, we have a lot of new characters in this game.
We do. We have a lot of new characters in this game. As soon as Raz arrives on the headquarters, he immediately gets introduced to the interns. And the interns quickly tell him and show him how he fits into the organization.
The bottom.
They're right down at the bottom.
Yeah, so earn his way back to the top again. He's no longer the coolest kid in summer camp. And much to his chagrin, his entire family, his entire embarrassing circus clothes wearing family comes to visit him in front of all his new friends. They jump roping with my nigga Raz, bro. The interns find out that he's the awkward middle child of a circus family. Each one of them has their own quirks and foibles, and some of them are even psychic. And so a lot of their story gets told in this game, including their backstory and how it relates to the foundation of the Psychonauts themselves.
Well, I like that. And of course, as you might know already, I'm sold. But you, of course, already knew that. When can myself and the rest of the world exact some beefy, meaty revenge?
You can get back to the beef and play Psychonauts 2 on August 25th on Xbox Game Pass and PC.
There it is. Lizette, Tim from Double Fine, thank you so much. And
Damn,
you know what?
why you leave
Extend a
out
huge
PlayStation
congratulations
like
to
that?
everyone at Double Fine on the launch
You
of
don't have to do
Psychonauts
that
2.
to him, Tim. It's on PlayStation
Thank you so
as
much.
well.
We're very excited.
Thank you.
And you can catch more of Tim Schafer and ask him those burning questions about the newest game in the fan favorite franchise in our Xbox Play stream tomorrow. But first, we're going from cleaning out mental cobwebs to cleaning up alien planets in this supremely satisfying 4K 60 trailer for The Gunk.
Yeah, where the fuck is the gunk, bro?
I don't like this weather.
I know it's an indie game, but shit, bro. I just wanted to know.
Cover alien storm damage. You have to be careful out there.
Alright, cleaning up some lava.
Here.
Lava
This
goop.
planet is literally a paradise when the gunk's gone.
Oh, you have to fight? The monsters? This world looks hella fucking good.
Oh, please, Max.
Thunderful. Smart delivery, all that. Play it day one. Game Pass.
We have talked about so many incredible games today, and it's hard to pick a favorite, but let me just say, it is so cool that State of Decay 2 is expanding Trumbull Valley. Come on. And hey, you know what? Great job on that Flight Sim interview.
Oh, thank you. I mean, talking to Jorg is always a blast, and Flight Sim is such a special game to me because, I mean, it's literally letting me travel the world. But I was staring daggers of jealousy watching you talk to Tim and Lizette over at Double Fine.
Well, I will say this, I understand, but you got to play Psychonauts 2 already, so I don't even want to hear it.
That's true, but it's not the same as talking to the creators. Just trust me when I tell you, be excited for Psychonauts 2.
I will say this as well, I am excited to see even more of Psychonauts 2 on our Xbox Plays streams.
Yes, don't forget, Xbox Plays will recap all the week's news throughout the week at twitch.tv/Xbox, so make sure to check that out. Before Kate and I let Playground Games take the wheel, let me just say that it has been our distinct pleasure to chat games and nerd out with everyone today.
Oh, it's hands down
Playground.
the best
Okay,
part of the
so
job.
they're gonna show more
for
Forza.
Sure.
But we're far from done here.
Too true. Now, in June, Playground Games announced that Forza
But you
Horizon 5,
would
the
show
highly
Scorn.
anticipated follow-up to 2018's breakout hit open-world driving game Forza Horizon 4, arrives on November 9th on Xbox consoles, Xbox Game Pass for console, PC, and cloud, and of course, Steam.
And if you're watching our Xbox YouTube channel, switch over to our Xbox Twitch channel to see all this new exclusive content.
And that is twitch.tv/Xbox for the full vroom vroom experience. And if you're already watching on Twitch or one of the Forza channels, stay right where you are.
Without further ado, let's dive in, starting with the new custom Forza Horizon 5 controller, which is available for pre-order today, so players can have it
They got a new
in
controller?
hand by November 9th when the standard edition of the game launches.
What did it look like? Oh, it looked like a rave. Oh, they got too many colors on it, don't it? Oh, this shit's see-through. Oh, okay. Bro, you can see the rumblers. You can see the rumblers. Texture grip. Okay, I can see the inspiration. That's nice. I mean, it's a cool ass controller for me. But I mean, my controller's already better because I made it myself. and I put my engraving on it. So. Gotcha.
Charlie here, and I'm at Playground Games with Forza Horizon creative director Mike Brown and Forza Horizon art director Don Arcetta. Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Hello.
How cool is this?
That is stunning. Look at
Well,
that.
you already got
Well,
one.
we obviously just saw a really cool video about it, and I'll be the first to say there is an amazing influence of Mexican car culture and music literally splayed right across the front. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. It just feels like it's a part of the Horizon Festival, like it's just dropped out of the game into your lap.
Absolutely.
Absolutely love it.
And there's so much we do want to show the
I like
fans,
the
and it's been
grip
quite
on the back,
difficult to
though.
decide
I
where to
wish they
start.
let you
So can you
design
maybe
that
tell us
big
a bit
grip.
more about the game, Mike?
Sure, yeah. So Forza Horizon 5 is bringing the Horizon Festival's unique brand of fun and freedom to beautiful and vibrant Mexico. Players are going to set out across the largest, most diverse open world we've ever built in hundreds of the world's most
Those are
beautiful
some
and
clean
exciting
Jordan
cars.
ones too.
Yeah, and people
I'm
think that
getting
Mexico
distracted.
is just a desert or a beach, but there's so much more to it, isn't there?
That's right. Even though it does have pretty awesome beaches and a number of amazing deserts, it also has vast canyons, hidden temples, awesome, beautiful historic cities, and even a towering snow-capped volcano, the highest point we've ever had in a Horizon game.
So you've talked about how Forza Horizon 5 showcases powerful, all-new graphical features, but what more can you tell us about that?
So yeah, our Mexican HDR sky captures really illuminate the world to the point where you feel like you're really there. And thanks to the Xbox Series X and S, ray tracing is utilized in Forza Vista to really make our cars look more true to real life. You'll encounter the smallest of details as you travel throughout the world, all rendered in striking realism.
Oh, that's such an exciting overview. I cannot wait. And next up is something we know that Forza Horizon fans have definitely been waiting for the most. Mike, what exactly is that?
Yeah, that's right. We are about to reveal the cover of Forza Horizon 5, featuring the incredible Mercedes
They got
AMG
cover
1
cars
and
like-
the 2021
like NBA
Ford
games
Bronco
got cover
Badlands.
athletes.
Should we take a look?
Let's do it, yeah.
Oh, it's the car from the trailer. We gotta guess that. It was the first car you showed. Oh, they're just showing all kinds of cars. Okay, so they played us. Which one of y'all is on the cover of the game? It's definitely the red one. I don't think the Bronco is the star of the game. I fucking knew it was the red one. Well, I guess it's 3 cars.
Now, those are two very different ways to explore Mexico. So what I want to know is why those two cars were chosen and what players can expect when they get behind the wheel.
Yeah, so those differences are exactly why we chose them. The Mercedes AMG 1 marks the first time a car features Formula One hybrid technology almost one-to-one from track to the street. And with the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands, that's primed for rugged off-roading across Mexico's vast terrain.
And I'm certain people can't wait to see more of what these cars can do in the game, so I don't think we should keep them waiting any longer. Mike, can you tell us about what we're about to see next?
Yes, so in a few moments' time, we'll be kicking off a Forza Horizon 5 Let's Go stream, and everybody should check that out for a big deep dive into loads of new content and features from Forza Horizon 5. But before that, we have 8 minutes of brand new gameplay where we're going to see both the Mercedes AMG 1 and the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands. And in typical Horizon fashion, we are going to see active volcanoes, cars jumping out of cargo planes, and a race under beautiful Mexican skies all the way to the Horizon Festival. Should we check it out?
What? They're about to drop the Bronco out the fucking plane? This is the intro to the game. It has to be. It has to be the intro to the game. Because that's some wild shit that only Forza Horizon will do. That shit is unsafe. That's a whole volcano right there. Okay, and it drops right into the fucking game. Holy shit.
Here we take control of the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands, atop of the towering, snow-capped Gran Caldera volcano.
That was clean as fuck. Like from cutscene to gameplay, scenes. Alright, get off our road.
Follow that car! Past me!
What is that, focus? This is man. Oh, I thought that was just a cliff, bro. I'm like, this isn't just botch. No, it was a cliff. They did that on purpose. I might have to go for this game. November 9th in Game Pass. Why not?
There might be a little bit of traffic ahead. Watch out for that.
Watch out for what? Oh, this is the dirt. You just drop in the middle of somebody's fucking race.
Making new friends, eh? You go enjoy yourself. I have to go make another delivery.
What are you dropping? Is that a McLaren?
Drop zone approaching. Lovely day for a drive.
That car looks too expensive to be getting dropped out the fucking sky.
So now we see the 2020 Corvette Stingray tearing up the asphalt towards a dust storm in the Mexican farmland.
Outtrack the storm.
That is a dust storm.
Keep going.
They got active weather. How are you supposed to beat somebody in a race when the dust cloud comes? So these drop cars are kind of trash. The ones that just be popping up, trying to get in front of you.
Okay. There's no other
They do not have a wheel.
We've got to go through it.
You gotta beat the storm. Oh no, you just gotta drop straight into it. How does it look? It looks sandy? It is. Okay. Does your car get dirty though? That's what we want to see. Is there any dirt accumulating? No. Nah, the car's still clean. Sad. They could add that in.
Okay, on my mark. 5, 4. 4 now, that's fine.
Flamingos?
This could get a little rough.
Did they just crash? Oh no, they dropped.
Touchdown! Not even a scratch. The jungle awaits.
Next up is the Porsche 911 Desert Flyer, crashing through the
Yeah,
dense
I knew
jungle
it was
tree
a
canopy.
911.
Flamingos!
Can you hit them? I wonder if you can hit them. Probably not. Forza Horizon. I don't think they got any cruelty in the game. They should make an Australian game next and put big ass spiders in it. This looks so good though. And the car is not getting dirty. But it is wet. Or is it getting dirty? I think it has some dirt on the side. See? The buggy jumped out the sky and completely botched. They need to get their game up.
I'll swing back round and guide you through the bridge.
I don't trust that plane next to that highway bridge.
¡Qué maravilla! You're not gonna believe your eyes when you see this. Keep going. This is the final drop.
this one is too expensive to drop out the sky. So they're like, let's just drop it out the plane on the runway.
What do you say? First to the festival wins? Vámonos!
And on the final leg, we have the stunning Mercedes AMG 1 at full speed across Mexico's sun-baked rocky coast.
Horizon! This is Mexico! We've already had cars falling out of the sky, but all eyes on the superstar making their way to the festival right now.
I wonder if this is the last piece of it because it is so far.
Get ready for the biggest Horizon adventure of your life.
Look at that Dravatar in the dirt, bro. What are you doing? You are racing.
Did you hear that? Well, that is the last inbound cargo flight racing neck and neck with an AMG 1.
Yeah, I remember that white car. Who else are you racing?
I've seen this driver before, and trust me, they know how to make it interesting.
First one in. I thought he was gonna go back in the plane for a minute. That's the end. Okay. Because they got a live stream going as well. But that was pretty good. That was pretty good. They didn't show fucking Scorn, but they did show the gunk. So they're catching up. They have so many games in tow that they don't know what the fucking show nowadays, bro. They be like, hold on, did we show that yet? Like, did we show this yet? I wasn't expecting State of Decay 2 to be the thing they show on there. Yeah, the game is definitely growing because of Game Pass and people get to get in it and play it. But, damn. The gunk looked good. Forza Horizon looks better and better every time they fucking show it, bro. Every time they show it, it looks better and better. And that game's going to be massive. They should have showed more Halo, but Halo's already in the shit right now with the multiplayer co-op thing and Forge. So they just gonna keep Halo in the back end. And then people always like delay it, but they don't even know when it comes out. Halo doesn't even have a release date. How you gonna know if they delay it if they don't have a release date for it? Like, yeah, that bitch can come out December 31st and still be 2021. Like, they don't have a release date. People expected it to come out in November or October at the end. Like, it can come out any day. At any time. But yeah, that's Gamescom. It was good. It was good. It was good. If they should have showed Scorn. I'm gonna keep saying it. They should have showed fucking Scorn again. But because Scorn looked a lot further along back then, and we haven't got an update for it since. And then Tim, he left off PlayStation when he was talking about the platform. Damn, that was funny. Because he's kind of an Xbox company now, even though Bethesda still mentions PlayStation with the Skyrim thing. So who knows what that was about? But yeah, thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see y'all in the next video.